Legend of Total War here, and today we've got a saving and disaster situation playing as Itza, where the player has used tic-tac-toe to capture Storag Core, got a variety-based flying army here, and over the end turn these two armies are going to attack, and it's filled with shades, which is the pretty common situation when dealing with Dark Elves. They love to spam the shades because they're very dangerous units. So let's read out the email here, and then let's see what we can do to fix it. So the title of the email is Tic-Tac-Toe is Awful, and then in the email it says, Hi Legend, over the end turn, 2 Dark Elf armies will attack my recently conquered city. I have a quite mediocre army with Tic-Tac-Toe, but I feel like the legendary Lord Tic-Tac-Toe himself is impossible to deliver over his own value. Anyway, I'm sending the save file before the end turn, so at least you may be able to do some tweaking. I tried that myself, including recruiting a new Lord, but without any luck. I would deem this battle impossible, not even when not controlling large armies. Okay, but let's see what we can do. So looking at the battle difficulty, everything's on maximum. Now, am I going to do any tweaking? So, doesn't have a huge amount of equipment on his heroes. Tic-Tac-Toe looks like he's got good equipment. Gambler's Armor, Blade of Ancient Skies, Talisman of Preservation, and Mask of Heavens. But yeah, Tic-Tac-Toe himself doesn't have particularly good skills. Particularly good combat abilities, I mean. But yeah, in terms of saying that Tic-Tac-Toe is awful, you got to judge him based on all of his abilities, not just his ability to fight in melee. That's not his only use. Tic-Tac-Toe is actually a really good commander, so he boosts his army by a ton and also provides a good amount of support with the Mask of Heavens because of this ability here, melee defense plus 10 in a fairly large area of effect. So he complements Ripperdactyls and Coatls really well, but on top of that, you've got speed for Pterodon Riders, Ripperdactyls, and Coatls. That's going to be really handy. Extra ammunition, physical resistance for them. You've got increased missile strength, increased replenishment rate. And this one here, if you had gotten that, that would have made him a little bit better of a fighter. But you also haven't gone down his melee line at all. So while you would expect, like as far as his melee capabilities are concerned, he's essentially level 1. So judging him based on something that you haven't specialized him on, I don't see how that was supposed to work. You've clearly made him, as you should have, an excellent commander. So let's focus on using his army. Now, am I going to make any adjustments? No. Let's get in here and see what we can do. Now, he was doing this without controlling large army. I think that's a mistake. I think we should actually control large army. Because I think there's a certain advantage that we can take advantage of here in regard to them spamming out shades like this. And actually, the more shades that they have, the better. So we want to leave that on, because obviously leaving it, this garrison's not going to do very much. But the larger their army is, the better for this situation, as far as I'm concerned. Let's get in here and see what we can do. Don't care about the banners or anything like that, because we're going to utilize the army. So here's the plan, basically. Because your units are so quick, and because their army is so large, we should be able to basically fly circles around them. The only thing that we need to do before we get to that point is isolate their flying lord away from the pack and get rid of her first. So I reckon even sending in the skink priests into melee should be fine. They should be able to take her out, as long as we draw them away from the rest of the army, which she should do. Should be able to do that, because these two here are stalking, so we'll sort of ambush her. All right, I want these in control group 4 and these in 5 there. Keep these out of the way for the time being. But yeah, basically the bigger their army is, they're going to constantly try to reform. And so if they're a smallish army, then it's quicker for them to reform. But a big army, they're going to rotate around. So what I want to do is fly around them so quickly that they're constantly in it's kind of like a vortex of their own making, which is just going to make Fire Liege bowlers absolutely destroy them, if this plan works out. It's going to be fairly micro-intensive. We also got to watch out about getting into melee with them, because they've got Dark Conduit. So this one over here is stalking, and it's on a Ancient Stegodon. Probably not going to use this one. It's going to be very vulnerable to those shades, but it's a good idea to have this one on the ground, in case you didn't have these ones. Also, we've got a lot of barrier because of Itza's ability, the faction ability. When you're attacked when under siege, you get 500 barrier on all of your units. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, we've got to wait for the enemy reinforcements to come in and lure her away. And this just gives us some time as well to get some magic together. Okay, they're shooting at tic-tac-toe. That's fine. Okay, get in over here. Get her attention and lure her away. Okay, start coming around over this way. There we go. That's it. Because yeah, with the Mask of Heavens, this one will probably aim for our priests as opposed to tic-tac-toe. So the extra melee defense will really come in handy for them. Okay. Let's get in. Plus, we've got buffs and debuffs with their spells. That's it. Got her isolated. And good. Okay, so this one here, use Curse of Anra here. That'll lower melee attack and melee defense. And then you use the Harmonic Convergence on tic-tac-toe, so it's got extra combat stats. Okay, watch out over here. We're getting shot up a little bit. But we're going to start the process of rotating around them. But I had to get rid of her first, obviously. Trying to have one of them hit her ass, because that'll be the best spot for the lowest melee defense. That's it, just keep rotating around. Okay, what might be really handy is if we start... Hang on, watch out, watch out. You get back a little bit. If we start actually moving in different directions. Just some of these units. These as well, start bringing them in. Watch out there, another one of these. So yeah, tic-tac-toe on his own wouldn't be able to do much. See how that's blobbing up? This is what we want to be seeing. We just need to go harder with this. Okay, they're bringing these ones in over here. Need the priests to come in over here to provide some magic. Actually, no, we can use a Corridal spell, can't we? That's it. Right, we got them on fire at will. Just watch out, not taking much damage there. Ripidactyls over here. Should be able to help out. Because, yeah, the Coatls, they have lesser chain lightning. And this is why we wanted their full force to come in, because that'll make these spells do way more damage. And you can see here they're not shooting at us because they're constantly trying to reform. Because the shades, they can't fire while moving, whereas our units can. And so if you keep moving... Gotta move fast though. These Renin Thunderbolts might get dodged, but that's okay. Yeah, if you move fast enough, they don't get a chance to shoot properly. Okay, good. Need them to come over this way. You stay out of it. I think I may have accidentally moved it over here. Put enough lightning bolts down, it might hit someone. Try to hit into the biggest cluster of them. So the bounce power definitely wasn't in our favor to begin with, but I think we've made a pretty good start. We definitely don't want to land because of the other stuff. But yeah, getting them to blob up like this is making our ammunition, we just get way more use out of it. Plus, if we really wanted to, we could probably drop some rocks on them. Although, not a huge focus on doing that. Okay, you come over here, that's it. You just got to keep moving. See how they're constantly reforming? I mean, all they really need to do is just stand still, pick a spot, and start shooting at us. But they're wary about getting flanked. But I'm not going to land. That's it. And we don't want to land tic-tac-toe in there. Because, yeah, he is a shit fighter. But he's an excellent commander. And you've recruited all the right units into the army. Usually I just spam coatls, which would have given us more chain lightnings. But look, we got a huge blob forming up. Nothing wrong with using this as well. Need faster casting. So we get way better use out of all that. And while they're shooting at us every now and again, the damage output's so... Oh shit, put them in. I didn't mean to do that. Just keep them out of it. Same thing with you. It didn't mean to bring you in. Also got restocks on you. Doesn't matter if they get wiped out. They're not going to focus too much over there anyway. Good. Look how many units we're hitting with that Flock of Doom. Okay, you've got a bomb that you could drop. Tic-Tac-Toe's one's pretty good. If we were playing as Tlaqua, all the flying units with rocks would have upgraded abilities, but that's not what we're playing with. Playing as Itza, which gives us barrier, so I guess that's pretty good as well. Let's keep moving. See if they're not shooting at us. That's it. Well, they're not shooting at us much. We don't have any healers in the army. That's it. Just keep swarming around them. There's actually two groups of blobs. But if all goes well, we'll just army loss them soon. Try to stay in the middle of the map so that when the battle ends, we've got time to run them down as well. Don't use Comet of Cassandora because they'll definitely dodge that. Whereas with Uranus Thunderbolt, they just might dodge it because it's a much quicker spell and also doesn't cost as much to use. So if they do end up dodging it, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, it's starting to spread out a little bit more. Get them out of there. Okay, that's it. Look at all those ones over there running. Using up our ammo without these shades getting a chance to shoot much. And if they do shoot, they only shoot a little bit. And if they're blobbed up, they are obstructed, so they don't properly get to cast. And yeah, if we landed on them, they'll just freaking use Dark Conduit on us. Put them back over here. Yeah, one problem I suppose with doing this is that with this level of micro, there's going to be a lot of... it's going to be fairly messy, so I'm going to accidentally bring them in. It doesn't matter if they get wiped out. Main thing here is that we've got some ground forces still on the ground, or else we'll suffer that leadership penalty. So drop that rock. Okay, we don't have that much winds left either. Okay, last spell. Even using the Ripperdactyls to just encircle them, like we're vultures. But we're really just feigning the attack. Oh, look at that. It looks good. Yeah, those bombs are pretty good. Chain lightning in there. It. It's all looking pretty good so far. That one's still staying over there. Yep, that's good. Alright, the majority of their forces have been beaten. It says victories in our grasp. And don't forget, it said decisive defeat in auto resolve. And I don't think we're suffering any casualties in the main army. Probably in the garrison, maybe. Any magic left? Yeah, a little bit left. Still got ammo left. I think we've got enough to finish this off. that chain lightning, unless we can get them to actually walk back into it, which can happen. All we got to do is just activate their skirmish mode by feigning the attack into it. Otherwise, that was a bit of a waste of a spell. Might be better off just using Flock of Doom now, and just focusing on using our missile attacks. And there's the army losses. Very nice. Okay. So take them off fire at will, and let's actually land on them now. And finish the job. And kill some of their heroes, that'd be great. But I doubt we will, because they're very quick. So I turn them off fire at will so that we don't hurt our own troops too much. Of course, putting them on melee mode and then charging into them, they'll still shoot, even without fire at will on. But yeah, your army was great. Just got to know how to use it. And it was more about just understanding the weakness of the enemy forces that we were going up against. You know, all of those shades. You know, shades are really good units, but they've certainly got a fair few weaknesses. So if you understand what their weaknesses are, and then just hyper focus on that, and so that they can't use their shades properly, like they barely got any volleys in at all. And we turned their strength into a weakness because they were focusing entirely on reforming and making sure they could properly attack us. Because that's what the AI is designed to do. Trying to run down as many of them as we can. Because still got to pursue them afterwards. Especially those heroes, because there's one or two fairly high level ones in it amongst them. But they should be in your territory, so they're not going to get any replenishment, I think. Mainly trying to focus in on the shades. Okay. And we got a heroic victory. And we got no casualties whatsoever. But yeah, Tic-Tac-Toe's strength in this... Look, we got 10,000 damage dealt with him anyway. So, damage dealt is gold 2,480. He absolutely did do his worth. Because yeah, he is not a strong fighter. And also, he's pretty much at full health. But all the bonuses he's providing for his army, that's his strength there. Any other lord wouldn't have been able to do that as effectively because the speed that we rotated around them meant that they just couldn't target us properly. We're just way too fast for them. Because like their reaction time is instant, but they can give an order, and by the time they give that order, we've already moved out of the way. So we'll go with money, because you'll probably fully replenish over the end turn anyway. Cult of Pleasure wants peace, but I don't know if that's part of your plan. Probably not. So, okay. So Tic-Tac-Toe got the trait Courageous, was personally evolved during combat. Cool. So that's the remnants of their force. You're at completely full strength. You should be able to charge in on that and auto-resolve it. You get another Book of Ashur. So yeah, if you just know what you're doing, Tic-Tac-Toe can actually be a really good Legendary Lord. Like, it's like flawless victory. We suffered no casualties. Just a little bit of damage on the coatls. Now, usually what I do with Tic-Tac-Toe is I usually spam coatls because like the upkeep cost difference is not that big of a deal, and if you've got a healer like a Skink Oracle, you can get a lot more value out of coatls than you can with Pterodon Riders. But in that particular case there, the Pterodon Riders were actually more useful because I probably Probably wouldn't have done quite as well if we had spammed just these ones here. Although, look at that speed that they've got on them. It's incredibly fast. 152 speed. Again, aerial superiority. That speed plus 15% for Pterodon Riders. Also on top of that, his set bonus. Speed plus 10% for Pterodon Riders, Ripperdactyl Riders, and Coatls, all armies faction-wide. So yeah, just got to find out what your strengths are, what the enemy's weaknesses are, and make use of it. And I guess that's just not what he did. Because he didn't really explain what he did in the battle. But if he just sat there trying to like skirmish them, like line versus line, letting them set up in a line and then trying to shoot at them, there's no way that Pterodon Riders are ever going to be able to outshoot that many shades, especially when they've got two armies coming at you at once. But yeah, you use the advantage of fire while moving, and our speed to just encircle them. They're constantly trying to reform. They're super confused as to what's going on. They think you're going to charge in on them, so they're activating their skirmish mode, but you're not. You're just constantly shooting at them the whole time, and because they're in a clustered formation, the explosive shot from Fire Leech Bowlers, if the enemy is in like a loose formation, Fire Leech Bowlers can end up doing fucking no damage. But if they're in a massive blob like that, then yeah, you're going to inflict horrendous casualties on them. And the thing is as well, on top of this, you can make your army a hell of a lot better if you go and get, where are they? Yeah, there it is. Blessed Pterodon Rider Fire Leech Bowlers, because one of the big advantages this one has is like twice as much ammo as the regular one. So 32 compared to 64. You just get so much more out of those there, and it's even cheaper in upkeep. But it largely depends on your spawning sequence, how much you've got going of that. I don't know if you want to invest that much into Tic-Tac-Toe's army with that. But yeah, you pretty much can't go wrong with Tic-Tac-Toe, just going all flying units, and you've done well by having a Skink Chief. Personally, I would put this guy in a regular Stegodon. For one thing, it'll be cheaper, but it'll also allow you to use it as like a Ballistodon, so you can shoot at a distance. It would be also good if you had access to Snipe. So there are, I'm not sure if the Lizardman can get it, there is like a Forester's Cloak or something that you could have that provides Snipe. So that'll pair very well with Stalk, so that way you can shoot while not being detected. That'd be quite handy. But anyway, guys, I feel like we did our job sufficiently there. Proved him pretty wrong, but that's, I think, what people want me to do. That, you know, they're at the end of their edge of their tether with it, and they're like, let's see if you can prove me wrong about this impossible battle. But anyway, that's the end of this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. Appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. Later, guys.